Hey everyone, it's Marcus with the Best Buy blog. Today I'm going to be reviewing this. The ASUS ROG Flow Z13 2-in-1 Gaming Ultrabook. In this article, I'll be discussing the Z13's tablet body, the keyboard attachment, as well as its overall performance as a gaming laptop and as a productivity tool. But first, let's talk about the specs as I tested this laptop. It's got a 13.4-inch IPS 4K screen, a 12th gen i9-2900H CPU. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, a 1 terabyte SSD, and for the GPU, it's an RTX 3050 Ti. Now when I unboxed the Flow Z13, the first thing I noticed is that it has impressive build quality and great craftsmanship that went into its design. The tablet body is all metal, and on the back here you're going to find a unique combination of engraving, laser etching, and cutouts. Below that is a window that allows you to see the Flow Z13's motherboard and circuitry. I actually really love how this window is accentuated with RGB lights. This is actually something that is pretty unique and I haven't seen on any other laptop. When you look up a bit, you're going to see some interesting cutouts. And on first glance, these look like they're just part of the design, but they're actually openings for the fans and the air intake. I actually really like this because it's a clever way to integrate needed functionality into the laptop with design. And if you go up further here, you'll see that there's a rear-facing 8-megapixel camera on the top left-hand side here. The picture quality of this camera is actually pretty good. Now let's talk about the Z Flow 13 screen. The screen here, like I said earlier, is a 13.4-inch 4K IPS display. This display is nothing short of fantastic. You get everything you'd expect from an IPS and a 4K screen. The colors pop, there's great viewing angles, and the text is nice and crisp. If you love bright displays, you're not going to be disappointed. This display is crazy bright. In fact, for the majority of the time that I used this tablet, I actually kept the brightness at about 35%. Anything brighter and I'm squinting at the screen. On to the keyboard. Like other 2-in-1 laptops, the Flow Z13's keyboard is attached using a strong magnet. What I like about ASUS's design is that there's an extra magnet near the bottom of the palm rest here. This extra magnet helps keep the keyboard in place while the laptop is closed. It gives you a more firm and solid feel when you're carrying it. There's no wiggle and there's no play. While most laptop keyboards come with a single backlight color, the Flow Z13 actually takes this one step further. This keyboard comes with RGB LEDs. And yes, these lights are Aura Sync enabled, which means that you can customize their behavior or have it sync to your music, games, and movies. In terms of general use, the keyboard layout is what you'd expect from a laptop keyboard. Spacing of the keys is well done, and the key travel also felt good. Overall, I didn't find myself needing to adjust or getting used to typing on the Flow Z13's keyboard. When it comes to gaming, I found that gaming on this keyboard was pretty great. Like I said, I didn't need to adjust to the layout, and it even comes with some shortcuts to control the fan speed as well as lock the Windows buttons. Moving down a bit, we come to the Flow Z13's touchpad. This touchpad is serviceable for everyday tasks. It's responsive and worked well for multi-touch gestures. I did, however, find myself wishing that the touchpad was a tad bit larger. But I think for this form factor, I'll give it a pass since we're dealing with such a small size here. Speaking of gaming, the Flow Z13's RTX 3050 Ti is no slouch. I had no issues with gaming performance. I played Halo Infinite, and this was done on medium graphics settings. The game looked and felt great. Looking at the FPS counter, I was getting a constant 60 to 70 FPS throughout my gameplay. When you're gaming on any machine, you can expect it to heat up. Testing Halo Infinite, the Flow Z13 did get warm, but I was actually surprised at how quiet the fans were. Even at their highest speed, I could barely hear them running. This is pretty impressive given how small the fans are and how close the laptop sits to you. Speakers on the Flow Z13 are good for their size. Speakers are located here on the bottom left and right hand side of the tablet. That gives you some stereo sound. I found that the speakers were clear with strong mid and high tones. However, for you bass lovers, the Flow Z13 speakers is a little bit weaker on the bass. Personally, for my uses, I was actually satisfied with the loudness and the quality of the speakers of this tablet. Since we just talked about gaming, how about productivity on the Flow Z13? With a 13.4-inch screen and a total weight of 2.6 pounds, the Flow Z13 is extremely portable. With its small footprint, actually carrying it in my backpack was very easy and I barely even noticed it was there. Having powerful gaming hardware also means that your laptop will certainly be able to handle most of your productivity needs. This makes the Flow Z13 a great option for students as well as working professionals. One thing that I liked was the Z13's tablet mode. During meetings, I don't need to use the keyboard, and I found it freeing to be able to detach the keyboard and just take this tablet with me on the go. Battery life on the Flow Z13 is average. Without gaming, I was able to get 5 to 5.5 hours of battery on an average day. This was achieved with the screen brightness of 35%. I was watching YouTube, editing Word documents, listening to music, and I kept the keyboard LEDs on. Thankfully, the Flow Z13 charges reasonably fast. Using the included charger, you can go from 0 to 100% in about 1.5 hours. Okay, time for my final thoughts. I can't emphasize enough just how impressed I am with the ASUS Flow Z13. ASUS was able to pack a lot of powerful hardware into this compact, small body of a tablet. Personally, I loved my time with the Flow Z13. I love the bright screen, I love that it's 4K, it's lightweight, and I really like the RGB keyboard. While the Flow Z13's battery life is mediocre, the fast charging time more than makes up for this. Well, that's all for today, everyone. If you'd like to know more about the ASUS ROG Flow Z13, you can check out my full review on the Best Buy blog. If you'd like to know what else I'm up to, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at pewx31 or on Facebook and YouTube at pewx3. Thanks again, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.